welcome everyone to the Between the Cushions podcast. Again, this is our secondary podcast to hit anything that might have gone through the cracks for our main podcast, and also do game recaps and then weekend matchup projections. So let's jump right into it. This past weekend, Monday night, Vikings Seahawks played, which was a pretty awesome game. Just a lot of scoring, last minute TD for the Vic, but a couple things happened. Dalvin Cook got hurt during that game. So Cook being hurt, does that mess with the Vikings a whole lot, or do you think Madison has what it takes to, jump right into his place? Oh, by the way, sorry guys, we have Cole Zeller with us tonight.
Always forgotten.
Say hi to the fans, Cole.
Hey fans.
Luke Sauder, as always.
Always.
And Cody will probably be jumping on later. Depends on when he gets here or not. So
if he makes it alive.
Yeah.
That too.
I gotta leave before then.
It's a big factor.
Legally, me and Cody can never be in the same room together. So. So once Cody is on, I will be gone.
So anyway,
there's something I don't know about, I guess. Oh my.
So Luke, Dalvin Cook.
What's up with him?
Yeah, well, he's hurt right now. He's not playing this next week, and they have Alexander Madison to back him up.
Is the injury? I didn't look into it. What is the injury? Is it
hamstring?
Hamstring. Okay. A couple weeks out, or just game time decision?
I don't remember if it was specific, but I think he's week to week. I don't think he's a game time decision this week because I don't think he practiced.
Okay.
But Cook being out, I mean, that's a good portion of their offense. Kirk Cousins has been throwing the rock, but
I mean, just looking at it right now, isn't Dalvin Cook's number one in rushing right now, isn't he?
In fantasy, yeah.
In fantasy, but I think just right now
in yards overall.
Yards overall, it looks like it goes Dalvin Cook's number one, then Josh Jacobs, and then Derrick Henry's number three, and Todd Gurley, and then Aaron Jones. So that's a big portion of their offense, clearly. Right.
I would say that if you are a Dalvin Cook fantasy owner, I can't imagine a world where Madison is not your number one waiver wire pickup. He looked pretty good in that second half of that game. So, yeah, I would say if you're an owner, go after him. If you're just looking for a one week running back flex or maybe running back 2, I'd say he's also a good option. So,
okay, cool. So in this game, we got to see primetime Kirk Cousins. Notably, not the best during primetime. But for this game, he did average. He did all right.
Who won the game, though?
I mean, the Seahawks won the game, but did Cousins lose it for him? It's debatable. He threw an interception, so one could say that he did.
Russell Wilson didn't have the best start to that game, but he came in clutch later on. One more thing, Madison in that game, 20 rush attempts, 112 yards. So he did get 100.
Yeah, he had over 5 yards of carry.
Yeah,
so
5.6.
Which is over 5 yards
What a
of
ball.
carry.
Yeah, but you got to get specific. This is a very specific podcast.
Oh, okay.
We should rename it to the specific.
He also had
podcast.
3 catches for exactly 24 yards as well.
What's the average on that?
8.
Point?
0.
Point. Oh, wait, no. What's the third digit?
0.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Right, why you got to be so difficult all the time?
Okay. Hey, if you want to do catches, we can jump into the passing game. Adam Thielen had a monster night.
He did okay.
Sorry, something in my throat. 13 targets,
Adam Thielen?
9 receptions, 80 yards and 2 TDs. But Adam Thielen seems to be the only receiver there. Like Keenan Allen.
They traded away Can You Dig It, though.
Allen Robinson. Adam Thielen, Cole, is he fantasy stud right now? Or
I would say so. Isn't he their number one target? Obviously, number one receiver.
Well, he's the only one there, unless you count. Is it Jerry Jeudy or
is that
Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson is a rookie.
He's turning up. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that there are a lot of good rookie wide receivers this year, and to point out Ryan always is saying, when's the last time a rookie receiver had a good year?
There hasn't been a season like this in a while.
Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb. Jerry Judy's okay. Henry Ruggs starting to come into his own. Laviska Shenault for the Jags.
And
Justin
we're forgetting
Jefferson.
someone.
Ayuk is okay.
Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, he made one good play where he hurdled the person.
He led
but-
receiving yards at a whopping 44 yards against the Dolphins.
Yeah, so you can take that to the bank, Ryan.
I mean, we'll get into that later, but Deebo Samuel's back, so
Yeah, so, I mean, Thielen is obviously the number one target in Minnesota now that Diggs is gone. But the sad thing is Thielen, when's the last time he started a whole season?
I can
I
use that number for you.
think he was injured last year for 2 games.
Okay.
Not positive, but he when he plays though, I mean, players get injured. A lot of players get injured maybe once
Got
a
it.
season. You got it?
Last year he started 10 games. Year before that, 16. Year before that, 16, 10. Well, actually, no, that's not true. He played the 10 as games started. That was when he broke out. So he played on all those games.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it looks like it's really just last year that he struggled with injury.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, seems like since Diggs went out that he's the only one in town. Cousins was looking up for him on 3rd down all the time. I think one of their last drives, it was Thielen. Then he's like, I should change it up. But he threw it to Thielen again. So Cousins just seems to have eyes for Thielen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to flip over to Seattle, talk about DK Metcalf?
No, not really. He beat me a couple weeks ago.
DK Metcalf?
DK Metcalf, freaking monster.
They've got a play in their playbook
Like-
that they use fairly often. It's called DK Go and Get It. You just throw it as far as possible.
Not that.
Oh, my. Does anybody know what DK stands for?
Donkey Kong?
That was going to be my guess.
He's got a country named after him.
What?
DeKalen Zacharias.
Yeah,
So
DK
it's
sounds great.
it's DeKalen. It's not Zacharias has nothing to do with that. That's his middle name.
Oh.
Yeah,
Look,
but
look at the picture that comes up when you Google him though. Shirtless pic.
dude, he's literally a monster though. Like he's a massive receiver. Like,
Luke has a thing for the shirtless pics.
is
I mean, I might be downloading these and saving them for later.
not the first time Luke has insinuated that he's gay on a podcast.
At this time, we would like to make a plug for Tommy John's, the best underwear around. Breathable, comfortable.
Tommy Girl. Not a sponsor.
We apologize. We cannot bring you a visual at this time, but just imagine.
Plenty of room in the upholstery.
Okay, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf and Lockett. Is one better than the other? Do they function at different roles? I mean, Metcalf is a monster.
I think in the past it's always been Lockett, right? Lockett's always been the guy. I think this year though, I think DK has become the guy. Sorry, Clayton.
Yeah, I would say historically, yeah. I mean, Lockett's the guy, and for a while it was Doug Baldwin, right? And Lockett kind of took over that role, but
Baldwin, undrafted, just like Adam Thielen.
Yep, exactly. And I want to say, wasn't Tyler Lockett kind of on a lower draft card as well? I don't think he was drafted very high.
Oh, I wish I knew.
But Metcalf, he was probably one of their higher draft picks, I think, right? Was he a 1st or 2nd round pick?
DK?
Yeah.
He was the last pick of the 2nd round, but he was
Okay.
supposed to be the 1st rounder.
Gotcha.
He was supposed to go in the 1st round. He slid all the way to the point where me as a Bears fan watching, knowing the Bears didn't have a pick till the 3rd round, and I was watching that, and I was like, is DK going to slide to them?
Let's go.
And then he got picked last pick of the 2nd round.
So the question remains, is it just good scouting and good recruiting by the Seahawks, or is it truly Wilson is just a generational talent?
I think Metcalf is a beast.
Really, you just think?
I mean, just look at the catch radius. He can catch it from anywhere.
And he played for
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Okay.
Which did he play with AJ Brown? There were a couple good receivers coming out of Ole Miss that year. Lockett, by the way, drafted 69th overall in the 2015 NFL draft.
Wow.
Great number.
Yeah.
Ole Miss as well.
No, Lockett was not Ole Miss. I don't know where he played.
Ole Miss, roll tide.
Wait a minute.
You'll have to excuse my co-host. He's a little stupid.
Yeah, in other news, Nick Saban, COVID, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be challenging.
They're supposed to play Georgia.
Yeah,
I think
so
this
he'll be-
week.
Are they gonna hold up like an iPad so we can coach from the sideline?
With a mask on.
And
Put a mask over
or
the
else
iPad.
he gets fined $100,000.
So,
Jeez.
let's tangent here for a second. Can only the head coach throw a challenge flag?
I believe they're
believe so.
they're the ones that have it tucked into their stock.
So
Stock.
how is he gonna throw? A
No,
challenge
you meant stock. They
I meant stock.
keep their challenge flags in their stock
Talking
portfolio.
about stock,
Yeah, exactly.
Tesla is up this week.
Actually, I think they're down.
They probably are down.
Yeah.
One more thing, going back to DK and Ole Miss, it was AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. Both came out of
okay.
that.
Mm.
Really good duo in college.
Actually, let's just jump all the way back then.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, 11 targets, 6 receptions for 93 yards and 2 TDs. Lockett, I think, only had 4 or 5 catches for like 50 yards. So
Couple rough fantasy weeks for him.
yeah, and okay. Did you see the DK Metcalf first down completion where he just popped it over the defensive back and he caught it in between the safety and the defensive back in that pocket?
I don't think I saw that.
I think
We watched the game together, didn't we?
I'm pretty sure that was Metcalf. I don't think it was Thielen.
I think the crazy stat here is from week 1 to 4, DK Metcalf had 4 receptions each game, in each receiving yards was 90 plus.
He's caught a touchdown every game, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, except week 4 against Miami, but from week 1 to 3, he did get a touchdown each game.
Yeah.
But that's insane.
And they're
4
always-
receptions all in a row, and they were 90 plus. And
Yeah.
he's I think that would put him up in the top 5 at least right now in the receiving yards.
Did you see Henry Ruggs this last week
I did not.
for the Las Vegas Raiders? 2 receptions,
Mhm.
113 yards, I think, and a touchdown.
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It is the
2
year of the rookie
receptions.
receiver. But we all know Brandon Ayuk is the best.
Ryan,
That's
don't you
the-
ever
that's-
get tired of
that's
being
debatable.
wrong.
Which is debatable.
CeeDee Lamb is definitely the best one.
You think he's the best talent of this draft? So
I
far?
think-
Well,
he's
the best with
so-
the Red Rocket.
So far, he's the best rookie wide receiver. That question, we'll have to see. We'll look at it. But right now, my ranking: CeeDee Lamb, then Justin Jefferson,
Mm.
and then Ayuk is probably like
Justin
12.
Jefferson drops the ball though, doesn't he?
Wait a
Jefferson.
Wait a
Didn't
second.
he drop like 4 or 5 that first game or something?
I mean, if you're really gonna judge a rookie based off his first NFL game
I'm
ever
gonna judge him based on every game that he
in
plays.
a COVID year.
He still played the game.
I say a COVID year like it's gonna happen more. It's probably gonna happen like a couple times in the next 20 years.
COVID?
You gotta have COVID 25, COVID 32.
Yeah.
Something is not right.
so
They're trying to drag it out as much as possible.
Metcalf had a good game. Carson, conversely, I mean, he had a good game for fantasy, but he didn't run that much.
Man, whoever's got Carson right now. Ooh, buddy.
Ooh, guess who just traded for him in our
Oh,
league?
wait a minute.
Actually, I got him in this league and the other league that I'm in. So
Man, really feeling high up on him, huh?
I'm grabbing me some shares of Carson.
He's gonna get Gator rolled next week.
I hope that was a dirty play. But 8 rushes for 52 yards, 1 TD, and then 7 targets, 6 receptions for 27 yards.
Do you know what is fascinating about this Vikings-Seahawks game? Is the fact
That's
that
what
as it stands right now, historically, Seattle has one of the worst defenses in NFL history. At this moment, at this time. And I think they are right below the 2012 Saints, and which was a really bad defense if we remember
Wait,
that.
Cowboys have to be worse than them.
Historically?
No, right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I just heard that over the weekend that historically right now their defense is atrocious. And they're still
It's
still
their
winning
secondary.
games. It's their secondary.
Seahawks
And
secondary.
Jamal Adams is hurt.
Struggling.
Their big trade of the offseason was Jamal Adams,
Mhm.
and he's out.
He's coming back this week though.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, looked for them to get better.
But the fact that they're still 4-0 and they supposedly have a historically bad defense is a testament to maybe how much we
MVP
undercut
year.
their offense season to season.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, MVP year this year.
All right, let's
Potentially.
lead into that game-winning drive. See how we feel about that. Ryan, how do you feel about the game-winning drive?
Well, I mean, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
How good was it?
Well, I mean, some catches were made, some throws were. I mean, actually, the Seahawks literally just ran it down the field. I mean,
But
what was
who threw it on 4th and goal and scored a touchdown?
You don't remember.
You absolutely remember. Cole? Who was it? Russell Wilson? DK Metcalf?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Fourth
Oh, sorry.
No.
It was indeed Russell Dangerous Wilson.
Throwing it to DK Metcalf. And that throw was one of the best goal line throws I've ever seen.
Dude, it was pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Metcalf going up
And they wouldn't have even been in that situation if it weren't for the Vikings play calling.
I have no problem with them going for fourth and one.
I agree.
Yeah.
Obviously, kidding.
I think that was the best thing to do.
But I think you go for it in any situation. I don't know. It's just interesting. Who is the offensive coordinator for the Vikings
49ers fan.
That's coming from a 49ers fan. I can't deny Russell Wilson's greatness.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get itchy every time I mention the Seahawks.
He just threw up into a bucket.
I actually hear that if you mention the Seahawks by name, you get COVID.
He did not throw up into a bucket. He just dropped.
Seahawks.
Wilson had a good game though.
All right. What we got?
What?
You got another game to talk about? Something?
Yeah. Just a little recap. Russell Wilson, his worst game of the season, where he only threw 3 TDs and 1 interception.
You got to step it up, Russ.
A 100 QBR. So I mean, that is pretty darn good for your worst game. So hopefully he trends back up. One other thing that I thought was interesting, time of possession for the Vikings. They had it 40 minutes, and the Seahawks had it 20. So Seahawks seem to be able to do more.
A little more there.
But, yeah. Next game we want to talk about, Saints-Chargers.
Woo!
Baby.
Dude, let me tell you, that rookie QB is on fire right now.
What's his name?
I don't know, but he's got great hair.
His hair is
What do they
pretty
call him?
great.
Hair bear?
Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Justin Herbert, 4 TDs, no interceptions.
Best game yet.
And they still lost.
And he's outperformed Brady, Mahomes, and Breeze all in a row.
See, what did they lose?
They still lost, though.
They still lost.
The game went into overtime, and they lost by a field goal.
Yeah, there was some stat where the Chargers have lost by 1 score like 13 times in the last 2 years or something.
They are doing it a lot. I really don't know what's going on there. All I know is that Justin Herbert's doing great.
To me, that is an organizational problem. They clearly that's the thing is, the Chargers are the ones that can ruin this. They have their guy, build a team around him. There's no way with a quarterback of that talent that they can't build a team around him in the future here, or even at least have had some sort of groundwork laid. I mean, the Chargers were knocking on the door of the Super Bowl, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Their roster has been pretty
Baltimore.
flawless if you really think about it, if you look across the board. And it's a shame that they have this up-and-coming QB and they lose by a field goal. I mean, that's just
Right.
it's just a tragedy.
You got to feel bad for Herbert because he's performing very well, and every single time he hasn't won a game yet as a starter.
Right.
Every single time they come up short. Feel bad for Justin Herbert for that. You know who else I feel bad for though? Tyrod Taylor.
T. Taylor.
Conspiracy!
Yeah, Justin Herbert paid that doctor. No, it's a super unfortunate thing happened where a team doctor punctured his lung. Anthony Lynn said, well, I personally blame Anthony Lynn because he came out and he said, when Tyrod Taylor is healthy again, he will be the quarterback of this football team. Why would you say that? Like Herbert, he said that after Herbert's first game, and Herbert had a good first game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for Tyrod.
But it's kind of, I listen to Colin Cowherd a lot, of course. It's kind of like Colin Cowherd said. You see how he's performed these last 3 games. Kind of back to my point of there is an organizational problem that how can you not see the way he's performed, how he wasn't the starter from the get-go.
Right.
And I also want to know, do you think Tyrod Taylor has accepted that this is his role in the NFL now, that he is I'm a transitional quarterback? I mean, obviously this one is different.
Like a Fitzpatrick.
Like a Fitzpatrick,
right.
But it's different this time. I mean, with Baker, obviously, this time he couldn't help it. It was a medical problem that happened.
Did he get benched with Baker, though, or did he get injured?
That's a good...
I thought he got injured.
Now, that would be interesting, because I thought he was benched, but...
It was, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I thought it was an injury in that game.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't remember.
Maybe it was. I think it was, because then they played the Jets on a Thursday night, right? And that's where Baker kind of had his coming out party kind of thing. So, yeah. But I just always wonder. I was like, I wonder what Tyrod is thinking. He's like, man, this is just my role now. leads the Bills to a playoff, and
So
now I'm just gonna be the groomer for the new kids on the block.
So Anthony Lynn said, I read an article, and they asked him in a press conference, how did Tyrod take it when you told him that going forward you're still going to go with Herbert, and he said he did not take it well. So you got to feel bad for him.
Right.
This is his, third time losing a starting role.
Well, and it's also, I mean, no matter which way you paint it, unless you've really followed Herbert, it is kind of surprise. It is a surprise, right? I mean, to a lot of people, the way he's performed so far so well.
I'll have to send you a link to one of my blog posts from before the draft.
Okay, interesting. So apparently you've predicted such.
Yeah.
No.
One thing to note, Anthony Lynn, did you say who he was?
Oh, he is the Chargers head coach.
Okay, for those of you who do not know.
Longtime Jets
Yeah.
assistant coach. And
One interesting thing from the Saints-Chargers game that I grabbed was Jackson and Kelly. So Justin Jackson and then Joshua Kelly. Everybody thought rookie Kelly was going to come out and light the world on fire because he finally had the opportunity with we got hurt, Austin Eckler down. But it was the Justin Jackson's show. So what do you guys think about that for running backs? Are they going to go with Justin Jackson now, or is Josh Kelly still going to be in the mix?
Before I get into that, I do want to say former Charger running back Melvin Gordon, who got a DUI, he returned to practice today or yesterday. So he is playing for the Broncos.
That is good news.
Yeah.
Do you have him in fantasy or something?
He can't drive anywhere. His mom dropped him off at practice yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Now,
I heard the condition was as long as you can have a beer on the sideline.
So Josh Kelly, Justin Jackson. I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing. I don't think that either one of them is safe for fantasy right now. Maybe as a flex option.
Yeah.
Hot hand between the two.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe 50-50, but I wouldn't trust either one of them in fantasy.
And the Chargers are dominating through the air right now. So I mean, it's just gonna go. Herbert's all over.
Man, Herbert.
Entertainment, news, all that above. I mean, he's a superstar right now. So.
One thing about this game, I do want to talk about the drive before overtime. Justin Herbert got them into position to kick a 50-yard field goal, and the kicker shanked it. Well, he didn't shank it. It hit the upright and then didn't go in. So Herbert did everything he could, and he got him in a good position. So
a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah, but
it's a tough one. But again,
it is a tough one. It's not a gimme, but you got to credit Herbert. He got them in that position.
And that's the frustrating thing. It's a personnel issue. Like, I mean, that the kicker makes that. I mean, my goodness. I mean, all these games, it's just kind of it's a game of inches. Special teams are so important.
Right.
Life is a game of inches.
What?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, also notably in this game, Keenan Allen got hurt.
Oh, I did not know this.
So he left the game with back spasms. I mean, they're on bye this week, so he's not playing.
Right.
But I have not seen any further news on if he's going to be out for a little bit or what. So Mike Williams in his absence, though.
Mike Williams.
The DK Metcalf of the Chargers.
Clemson boy.
He's big. I drafted him really late in the draft, and then I dropped him because he got injured.
Did you pick him back up?
No, see, he gets, for one, you put a $13 bet on him. I got Henry Ruggs, who actually
Hang on. $17 bet. Keep going.
Wow. Mike Williams, so I dropped him because he got hurt, and then if you're not in our fantasy league, you should then, for context, I don't have a great receiving core. I have T.Y. Hilton. So I was like...
That's the only reason. I have Hilton, so my wide receiving core is just... it's not good.
I have Mike Evans as well.
Past his prime.
But, no, I was looking for waiver wire pickups. I saw Mike Williams there, and I saw Henry Ruggs there. I put a $3 bet on Henry Ruggs. They're both going into a bye week. And I put a $1 bet into Mike Williams. Obviously, I was not expecting you to put a $17 bet on Mike Williams. But, I think Ruggs has a little more of an upside, but Mike Williams looked like he got hurt on that last play, by the way. So that was kind of questionable to me.
Yeah, he's been listed as questionable, and he gets off and on injury this year already.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's tough for fantasy because he gets injured.
Yeah.
A lot. Can he catch a ball and just come down on his feet for once instead of freaking flipping over and falling on his back?
It's more cool if you do that.
I mean, I'll say it does look dope, but he gets hurt a
Football
lot.
is a show. That's kind of the story of the Chargers receiving. I mean, just offense. It seems like the last 3 years is. I mean, Hunter Henry's always getting hurt. The receivers are always getting hurt. Running back. It's just unfortunate.
So if Mike Williams doesn't play this week, is there any Chargers third string receiver that you're willing to pick up?
Well, not this week.
Oh, right. It's bye.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I don't want to pick up anyone on the Chargers. If you have Hunter Henry, he'll get the ball a lot more.
I think he'll definitely play in 2 weeks. Then.
In my other league, your brother Caleb.
He's been on the show before.
Needed one catch from Hunter Henry in the second half, I think it was, and he got 4 targets and no catches.
Sounds like Zach Ertz.
So we lost to Caleb Jones.
How about that?
How
Bad fantasy luck must run in the family.
Yeah.
I lost by under 3 points this last week.
He cried. Only a little though, not as much as when McCaffrey went down, but
yeah, that was a week of depression.
yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
We didn't even release them. Cole will show you that. There's a variant cut of the cold open of that episode.
Nah, we don't need to show him.
Of Ryan singing the sound of silence.
I
I loved it. I thought
Can
it
I at
was
least
way
have a
funny.
private viewing?
I thought it was way funnier than the other one. It's like a minute and a half long. So
We might do a blooper reel at the end of the season or something. But yeah. So yeah, Chargers. I mean, they keep losing people, but they're still in games. So hopefully they can stay healthy. And who knows? Since extra teams are getting in the playoffs this year, they might grab a playoff spot. So let's go to the other side of the ball.
no, I don't even want to talk about the Saints.
Dude, let me tell you what. Because Kamara, Breeze, Sanders, you just don't like the Saints.
I don't like them right now.
Okay, and that's it.
What, is Michael Thomas pretty much? Is Michael Thomas really the one that was holding it all together?
I don't know, but I know that he sat out this past game because he punched his teammate.
Yeah. I have punched my co-host several times. I've never been suspended.
They haven't been.
What'd you say? Do you think I like this? Do you think I like hurting you?
The following material is graphic content.
You start yelling.
Please be advised.
Social worker is going to show up at the front door, and it's just going to be tears for everyone.
Was that a shocker to you guys about Thomas? Has he shown a history of this?
Other
than a couple nasty tweets?
Has he ever been suspended before?
Not that I know of.
I don't believe so.
But with Thomas out, it seems Sanders stepped into his shoes, getting 14 targets, 12 receptions. So.
Yeah, but Sanders, do you trust him? He's a little all over the place in fantasy.
Sanders, boom or bust if Thomas doesn't play. He might be a flex option if Thomas does play, so maybe 4 or 5 catches a week sort of person. But Kamara's the number 2 receiver. 10 targets.
Obviously.
8 catches this past game.
Yeah, so...
Jared Cook?
Jay Cook. He caught a TD this past
Seems
week.
like
I would rather have him than Ertz.
Oh, wow. Really?
I thought about picking up Gesicki this week. I'm getting so desperate at tight
You
end.
should have picked up Gesicki.
Well, I don't have the bench space right now, so I'm giving Ertz one more week. Going back to Michael Thomas, conduct detrimental to team. That is his only suspension that I've ever seen. $58,000 fine, by the way.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Is that paid to the team or to the NFL?
I don't know. I was assuming the team because it was a team
team.
suspension.
Yep.
It wasn't an NFL suspension. Before that, though, it's simple stuff. It's excessive face mask, using a prop in celebration. That a $30,000 fine for that.
Yeah,
by the
he
way.
did the cell phone celebration.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
And then
call back to an old Saint celebration.
$10,000 for time. Yeah.
Good punt.
30.
That was intended,
$10,000.
right? That was a pretty good call.
Not at all.
$30,000.
at all. I gotta be honest.
Hang on. Can just real quick? Can we get on $30,000 for using a prop in a celebration? Who makes the numbers for? We're gonna charge him this much for a fine.
Same guy who did the Bounty Gate. What?
Yeah. Who came up with the $350,000 fine for coaches that don't wear a mask on the sideline?
Is it a percentage or something, or I don't know.
I think Raj Goodell is just sitting back like, nope.
I feel like
nope,
that's
10 grand, 20 grand.
Yeah. I think it's kind of what you said. Who makes these up? I mean, that's exactly what they are. They're just made up.
Oh, they're totally made up. You know, if you throw the ball in the stand after scoring a touchdown, you know how players will go up and hand a ball to a fan?
Yeah.
You can do that. If you throw it, though, that's a $6,000 fine.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. That's the only fine that Treat Cohen has on his...
I mean, they got to make their money. They don't have any fans. Right?
If you plant it into the stands, I think it's also $6,000.
Oh. Man, that one empty chair could get that ball.
Stephon Diggs against
Change
the
your
Rams.
life.
Just that you have someone specific sitting. Yeah, it's just a cardboard cutout of like Conan O'Brien or something. You just see one of the players just beam a football right at the cutout.
Take a picture, have Michael Thomas sign it. This is me at game day. Michael Thomas.
There was
ball
a-
right to me.
I can't remember what player it was like 10 years ago, but he scored a touchdown, then he reached into his sock and pulled out a Sharpie and he signed the ball and then he handed it to a fan.
Might have been. Not Terrell Owens, was it?
It might have been Owens.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
It's aggressive.
It was
That's-
it was
that's pretty
Darrell
cool,
Green that
though.
used to keep like one of those big Tootsie Rolls in his sock, and then he would eat it throughout the game.
He keeps his Tootsie Roll in the sock.
Apparently, he said that's what makes him fast.
Well, when you're blessed, you know. Anywho,
Just gonna tuck this right here.
Let's just jump back to the game. Kamara.
Hold on, we're on Tootsie Rolls.
Yes. This. Anywho, Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, kind of splitting carries a little bit. 11 carries for Kamara, 8 carries for Murray. Both similar yards per carry. 4.1 and 4.3. So it seems like the Saints are going to be using Murray an awful lot.
Yeah, and Murray, I've been impressed with his fantasy output. I feel like he's one of the only handcuffs that is routinely always on someone's bench every year.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's not that Kamara will get hurt. It's that he's just that valuable if Kamara is to get hurt.
Would you rather have Frank Gore or Latavius Murray right now?
Latavius Murray for sure.
Frank Gore is starting.
I don't care.
Okay.
Did you see in the last couple of weeks when Bell was out?
Just to give people a metric for maybe how
He's
valuable he is in fantasy.
He's a solid second back.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, you know what second back is really doing well right now? Carolina Panthers Mike Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing really well to the point where I'm actually like I'm a Christian McCaffrey owner and I have Mike Davis right now. But I'm at the point where I'm like, is he doing so well? Like, everyone's like, no, there's no way. When McCaffrey's back, it's going to be on McCaffrey. But is he playing well enough to where they'll be like, yeah, we'll get Davis in the mix a little bit here in the offense?
With that contract they gave McCaffrey, I don't know.
McCaffrey's the highest paid running
it's-
back right now.
But Mike Davis is doing very well.
One could say that was a risky move considering the climate of the league with running backs being
Yeah.
so
I don't know.
at arm's
Well,
reach. Committee.
I think McCaffrey's too good in the passing game too. So
It's true.
I personally think Davis will get in there for a couple carries, but it won't be anything significant.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you could drop him after McCaffrey is fully back. So
Okay.
we'll see. But
Kamara.
what
What
about
I'm
him?
just saying that's what we were talking about before.
Alvin Kamara, I mean, him and Michael Thomas seem to be the Saints' offense. Their
Mhm.
defense really isn't doing that much. Every team has been putting up huge points against them.
Has Kamara been a top 5 rusher before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Has
he
he?
has.
In terms
Probably
of
last
yards,
year.
or
Yeah.
Probably last year, I'd say.
Because he's, just 5 games in. Was he hurt or anything like that? I'm not sure. 'Cause he's pretty low. He's not even top 10 yet this year.
Yeah, but he makes up for it by receiving a
That's
whole
true.
bunch. You know what? Cole, you might be onto something. Last year, he only had 797 yards on the season.
Wow.
Yeah, 883 the year before. He's never broke 1,000 in
Wow.
his career. Interesting. But receiving yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of about,
728 rush yards his rookie year. Mark Ingram was there at the time. 826 receiving yards.
Mm.
His receiving yards, I'll
decent
go
wide receiver too.
I'll go from 2020 to 2017. 2020, 321 receiving yards. And then 2019, 533. 2018, 709. And then 2017 was 826.
Probably the best catch and run running backs are both in the same division. Interesting.
I would
What are
say
the
in
odds?
today's NFL, he is the... In today's NFL, I would say he is right now the best dual threat running back. He is like the Le'Veon Bell of.
Whoa. What about Chris Carson?
He's not dual.
He plays
He's
for the
not
Seahawks. Nobody cares.
Oh, wow.
Showing my bias, I think.
Wow.
But no, I would say he is like right now. He is the Le'Veon Bell of the current NFL because Le'Veon Bell in his prime lined up in the slot a lot, and he was quite a good dual threat running back.
Okay, cool. Well,
Le'Veon Bell.
the Saints play the Panthers, or they're on bye?
Bears play the Panthers this week, so that can't
Okay,
be.
they're on bye. So look for both teams to rest up and hopefully get back out there and have some victories. Saints are playing the Panthers. I don't know what or who the Chargers are playing. But
They are on a bye.
No, next week. The week
next
after,
week, I see.
when they come back. Chargers will play the Jags. It looks like so.
All right. I just want to point out that Cody is currently looking into the window, so it is time for me to go. He's not.
Yeah.
Wait,
So Luke's gonna head out here, but we'll still continue with player update, Le'Veon Bell, and then we got some matchups to talk about.
Get away from me, Cody.
Okay. See you, Luke. And we're back, guys. We got Cody Zeller joining us now. Say hi to the boys, Cody.
Howdy.
Boo! Boo, Cody.
So the room's kind of split.
Boo.
One of us likes that Cody's here. The other one is kind of
Boo.
apprehensive about it.
Just kidding.
It's going to be a good test to see if they can tell who's who, because we do have a similar sounding voice.
So this is Cody talking.
This is Cody talking.
That was actually no, he just threw it off.
And we did for one of the podcasts throw up your picture for Cole. So.
No.
Did we not?
That was me.
Oh, dang it.
I'm pretty sure.
Sauder did it wrong. Anywho,
You can confuse yourself.
so one thing that we really wanted to talk about today was Le'Veon Bell, no longer on the Jets.
For whom the bell tolls.
Oh, that's pretty good.
The Chiefs.
Moving on. Yep, signed by the Chiefs, 1-year deal. I think it's the vet men. So I
I didn't know it was a 1-year deal.
I believe it's a 1-year
Wow.
deal. He's getting
Wow.
the vet men, which is $675,000 or 17 year. If you've been playing for 7 years, it bumps up to 1.05 mil. So this is Bell's 7th year, so I don't know how that works out, but yeah, vet men. So he's on the Chiefs now. Maybe the lead back, maybe not. But what do you guys think about him leaving the Jets? Start there.
I think it's definitely good. Obviously, I think the Jets were a very toxic organization. They're definitely going to be in a situation at the end of the year. We'll see where Gase is at.
Is it just because of Gase, or why do you think they're...
I think it's just the organization in general. They haven't been relevant for probably 15 years at this point. They've had a couple playoff berths, but
So they just suck.
I mean, yeah, for being honest. It's unfortunately the only reason they get so much publicity is because they're in the market known as New York. So they're always going to get publicity, but they are a mediocre team, and they have been for about 15 years.
I'd say it's coaching, though, too.
It is
I mean,
coaching.
if you kind of go down the line.
Because Adam Gase didn't want to sign Bell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Like,
And you just kind of see, like, Darnold is a
Trade
good...
for him.
Darnold has the potential to be a great quarterback in this league.
Does he?
And, yes.
Oh, yeah. If we're being honest here, guys, just over here, this is Cody talking. Cole is a USC fan. Who did Sam Darnold play for? USC. And didn't Sam Darnold lead in interceptions his last year in college?
Fair point. Rebuttal? USC is University of Southern
Yes.
California, by the way.
Not to be confused with... Never mind, I was going to go with the joke there. But...
University of South Carolina?
Gamecocks!
he has shown flashes of Andrew Luck caliber kind of performance. Kind of gets beat up, can still throw the ball, sling it.
He gets sacked a lot.
He gets sacked a lot, just like Luck. But I think it does start with Gase. Ultimately, you kind of see that in his demeanor in the post game, and you hear he is not well liked. But yeah,
Gase just isn't head coach material.
Yeah.
He's proven to be good as an OC.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think what has kept him there is that he has gotten the recommendation of Peyton Manning, and that's why he's probably in the position he is. And it's been reported that the GM likes him.
Yeah.
So
I would hope so. So back to Bell though.
Yeah, Le'Veon
Yeah.
Bell. Was he... So he left because he felt he wasn't getting enough. Or he wasn't getting utilized enough in the offense, started making waves, and then the Jets finally released him.
Yep.
And this year he's taking up $6 million on their cap, dead cap, and then next year it's $9 million.
Wow.
So they're basically paying him that amount of money to play against them.
Wow.
So,
Obviously, they wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah.
but he was. I mean, people were saying he was toxic in the locker room.
Yeah.
So
Which,
maybe it's better for the health of the team overall.
and that seems to be the story of his career at this point, right? I mean, you just think about all the problems with the holdout with Pittsburgh, and it's you kind of wonder where his head is at as far as the game of football, because I mean, I think it's easy to say 2 years later that the holdout was a dumb decision. I mean, it did not work out for him. He landed with the Jets. He has Cody. I think we talked about this today, but he's had one since he's been with the Jets. He's had one game with 100 rushing yards, and this was who we thought was going to be a top 5 back in the next 10 years when he was with the Steelers.
I guess if we're being precise here, Bell last year with the Jets in 2019 had 789 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Compared to his highest year when he had 1268. Actually, no. 2014, he had 1361 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns.
So it's not a question of talent with Bell at this point. It's a question of
Attitude.
Okay. Well, let's look at the teams going to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So going to the Super Bowl winners of last year. Is Bell just chasing the ring this year, or because he left the Jets because he thought he wasn't getting utilized enough? He's presumably going to be the second back for a couple games, and maybe he takes over the starting job. But what's your guys' take on that?
Who's on the rushing committee? Let's raw that down the Chiefs. Who do we got?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, rookie, first-round pick. And then they have Darrell Williams, who's next. And then beyond that, I think Damian Williams is still on the team. So
All pretty talented.
And it's kind of, if you really, and I kind of blown away after just name that off, because I think the idea was their number 1 pick was kind of being cemented to be the premium back, right?
Yeah, but
for the team.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has done all right, but he hasn't done like what Kareem Hunt did,
Right.
or Damian Williams, or even I can't think of the other running back. Not Jamal Charles, but after Jamal Charles. Anywho, he hasn't put up like massively impressive numbers. He's a decent running back,
Right.
but I would, I might compare him to more of a, not Frank Gore, but maybe like a Rojo sort of guy.
Okay.
Ronald Jones might be an
for the
apt
Bucks.
comparison.
Yeah, no, I think kind of your question.
Or Devin Singletary maybe too. He's a small guy.
Yes, and which college did he play for? Do we know?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
look
'cause
it up quick.
I actually had them. I thought the Chiefs were actually going to draft Jonathan Taylor, and they went and drafted this kid. But so I can't remember what college he was from. It was kind of a shock move. But yeah. So I think to your question, Ryan, is it a ring chasing move for Bell, or is it does it seem like he's chasing the ring, or is it just a career move? And I think on the surface it does look like a ring chasing move, but at the same time he's going to probably the best offensive mind in the league right now. And Andy Reid, and also the Chiefs'
Eric Bieniemy.
OC, who is probably going to be a head coach in the next few years. So I think it's just an overall great career move. On the surface, it looks like a ring chasing, but I think he's in a good spot.
Okay.
Good move.
Where do you think he's going to start? Cole, Cody, either or? Do you think he's going to start as the passing back? Do you think eventually he's going to move into the number 1 running back role? I mean, talented guy.
Yeah.
He's a proven passing back, so I would think they would want to utilize him as a passing back. And I guess this will definitely be with the money that they signed him to. They'll probably start that way. I would also think that if they start handing the ball and he proves his worth and he plays really well, he could eventually move into premium, because he is a premium starter back.
So that's where I was actually. I mean, I think wasn't Bell kind of known for in his prime, kind of that running back that
Could do everything.
could more respectively make a hole rather than find a hole. Like he was just a totally different type of running back that we've seen before.
I agree with that. I think he was more of the find a hole person.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would wait behind the line and run
Yes.
behind his blockers and kind of wait for the play to develop rather than trying to punch it through.
Yeah.
And New York doesn't have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
So
That was the biggest thing holding them back. It's holding the whole team back. Is the offensive line. Yeah.
okay, so look for him to probably excel on the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
I would think so.
Maybe even take over the starting role.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense has already been proven that they will use everybody.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes throws it to like 10 different receivers every game. So.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting. I mean, they're going to be a fun team to watch even more with the element of Bell, but we also talk about the toxic nature of Bell. How is that going to play with the Chiefs? Super Bowl champions. I mean, obviously the favors to go back, right? On the AFC. Like, how is that going to affect the Chiefs moving forward?
I don't know. There's been people that have said he's all right, but the general consensus is he was a problem in the locker room.
Huh.
But we'll see how that turns out. Not this week, but next week. He has to. I think he can't go to the facility for like 6 days or something
Because of COVID? Or
because of COVID.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you won't see him this coming week.
Mm.
So
And they could use him this week against the Bills.
speaking of this coming week, let's get into a fantasy matchup, or not a fantasy matchup, but just a forecast of one of the games. You want to talk about Cardinals, Cowboys, or Rams, Niners?
Cole, what do you want to talk about?
Cole is currently wearing a Niners shirt.
Let's
so-
talk about the Rams-Niners.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Didn't expect that. So Rams, Niners.
Prediction?
So I guess the first question is Jimmy G back? Is Nick Mullins going to start? It has him on the Yahoo app. Nick Mullins.
Does it?
Yeah.
Really?
So
I thought I heard he was starting.
Jimmy G is starting.
I think
So maybe they just didn't change it.
That's fine. Let's
But
find out.
this was Yahoo Sports. It wasn't like Yahoo Fantasy.
Gotcha.
So Jimmy G's for sure starting because he did not do well last game.
That is a understatement. Yeah, they pulled Jimmy right in the game, and you know, it was posted everywhere that Shanahan was protecting Garoppolo for that reason.
Okay.
Yep. First ESPN article states here, San Francisco 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo will set to start against the Los Angeles
Yeah,
Rams.
you got to start him. I mean, you got to start him over Mullins. I mean, he's your
Well, not in fantasy, but yeah.
well, not. Yeah, so I mean, for as far as fantasy wise, Garoppolo will start.
Okay.
Just a note. Last week against the Dolphins was one of his worst professional outings ever. He was 7 for 17, 77 yards, 2 interceptions with a QBR of 1.4.
Wow.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So he's gonna start. His first week back from injury, and he wasn't even planning on playing, right? They
Right.
just
right? It was
yeah.
days before, I think. Or...
So, we'll see how he does this next week against the Rams.
Mhm.
But another thing that I'm looking at, is it Mostert now from here on out, or is it McKinnon? Or do they rotate Coleman? Coleman might still be hurt, but
I think it'll be Mostert. I think McKinnon is a proven receiving back. I think he'll be a lot more of that role. But as far as running the rock up the field, it's going to be Mostert. I mean, he's our guy. Track star.
yeah. And I didn't know this, but they restructured McKinnon's contract in the offseason.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So he's not getting paid his 13, 14 mil.
Yeah. I mean, this is technically,
I,
the most playing time McKinnon's seen as a Niner
yeah.
thus far.
Yeah, that's
Due to injuries in the past. And
a fair point.
But let's go back to Garoppolo being the best quarterback alive. Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. So, I mean, you know, it's unfortunately we're at a crossroads here for the 49ers. Crossroads.
You're just at a point where everyone is.
Did you guys hear a fourth voice?
You have your best receiver injured, best running back injured, best QB injured. You just had on the defensive side of the ball.
Bosa, done.
Edge rusher. Inside.
I'm saying as far as since Jimmy Garoppolo has been a 49er, he has missed 17 games. And he has become very inconsistent. 17 games since he's been a 49er. I mean, obviously, he missed a whole season. That's basically 15 games right there. He hasn't started the first 2 or 3 towards ACL. I think we're starting to see maybe this is what he's becoming. Sort of like a Carson Wentz, but with less talent. Just always kind of getting hurt. But
Carson Wentz hasn't been doing the best this year.
But he's got the it factor, I think.
The intangible.
I think he's a special player. He will become one.
He's becoming one. I mean, he did beat your Niners.
Take that with a grain of salt. Cole is a Niners fan, so I don't think he can give an unbiased opinion on a Niners player. But
well, I am giving it unbiased. I think a lot of people would say right now that what you are saying is like, well, they're hurt, they're gutted here, right?
Why are you so defensive?
Why
are you so defensive?
No, I'm not. I'm actually, for the first time, being a realistic Niners fan and thinking that
For the first time ever,
we're here week.
Oh, congrats, man.
That's right. I know. Ow!
Keep going.
Sorry, I can't feel the left side of my body now. I think it's time to kind of sit back and think realistically. I mean, is Garoppolo the future of the 49ers? I mean, is he? Everybody talks about the pass in the Super Bowl that he threw to Sanders, missed. Everybody points back to that. In the moments, he's crumbled a couple times against the Seahawks last year, and so you really just got to sit back and think: is Garoppolo the Niners quarterback moving forward? Considering his injury proneness at this point in his career, he's very inconsistent.
If he plays bad, is he going to start the rest of the season?
Who do you put in?
I think you would have to.
Who do you put in?
Just the money that you're paying him.
Nick Mullins or
Nick
Mullins
didn't
Mullins.
play. He didn't play well.
That wouldn't be Mullins. It'd be Beathard.
I think Mullins proved what kind of player he is against Philadelphia. He didn't play well and he got benched.
If you want something crazy, as far as my opinion on who I think the next 49ers quarterback should be in a fantasy world, I would get Dak Prescott.
it could happen.
Because here is why I say that. Here is why I say that. Is because I think it's fair to say that the age of the pocket quarterback is kind of digressing into the background now. And we're now looking at a Russell Wilson, a Lamar Jackson, a Patrick Mahomes, who not only do they thrive in the pocket, but they can run and gun like we've never seen before. And that is who Dak is. Dak can do great when he runs and throws. Carson Wentz does great when he runs and throws. When Jimmy G does, he can do it. But I think that's the game now because the Niners have struggled against those quarterbacks that I've just named. Guys who have run and gunned. And so my thing is, why can't we get a guy who can run and gun and it causes terror for the other side of the ball? So I think Dak Prescott would be a crazy move. Don't know how they would do it, but I think he is a great quarterback.
Did you say great?
I think he is a great quarterback.
He's top 5 in fantasy this year and top 5 in stats last year.
He's number 1 in passing yards. He hasn't had a game under 400 yards.
Yeah.
But,
Anywho, we'll see what happens in the offseason, but Jimmy G is going to start for at least a couple games.
I would actually take Dak right now.
Yeah, while he's hurt.
Yes, he can walk on the ball of his ankle.
Okay,
sorry, bad joke.
Too soon.
Poor taste.
So
one more thing with the Niners, Deebo Samuel's back.
Yes, he is.
So is he gonna overshadow Ayuk, or?
I don't think so. I think they're easily number 1 and 2 right now.
Okay,
but there is Kittle too.
Well, he's the best receiving target there.
Right, but I don't think so. I think Ayuk really doesn't have he's just gotten to a major role because of Deebo being out. So I think it'll be kind of reversed just because Deebo's proven right now. But Ayuk's been performing very well.
Okay, cool. Well, we've talked a great deal about the Niners. Rams.
Well, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never talked about the Niners this much in my life.
Who are the Rams?
The Los Angeles Rams moved from St. Louis, Los Angeles. But they're who they're playing, and it's Jared Goff, and it's Darrell Henderson, I think, is starting.
Yep.
With Malcolm Brown and Cam Akers backing them up. And you have two great receivers in
Lights out.
Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods.
Yep.
Your tight end Higbee is doing well. And they have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yep.
I think they're fourth in points against. That means they're the fourth best in limiting other teams in points. Ninth in yards per game. So the amount of total yards their offense gets. And then they're 12th in sacks. So
yeah.
Good defense, decent offense. Cody, any thoughts on the Rams over the Niners or the Niners over the Rams? What do you see the Rams doing in this game, or how do you think they're going to function?
First off, I take the Rams, running with it.
We'll get to that later. Don't make hasty decisions, but yeah, we'll get to that.
I take the Rams because if we're just being realistic, compared to both teams, they're the most put together team. No one's hurt. They have a healthy roster. The Niners do not. Jimmy G is going in still on a hurt ankle. I don't believe he's going to be 100%. Going up against that defense, Aaron Donald, that secondary, it's going to be tough. And the Rams have one of the best receiving core in the league. I mean, Ryan just listed it off. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Josh Reynolds is a decent receiver as well. He has proven himself as well in the past couple games.
Jay Reynolds, let's go.
Yes. Let's just look at the stats right now. I'm looking at the four top receivers. We got Kupp, Woods, Reynolds, and Higbee on that roster, and they all have over 100 yards, up to 300 plus. It's pretty impressive.
Okay.
The ball gets spread around.
There's no denying the Rams' explosive offense, that's for sure.
Yes.
But
Woods and Kupp usually.
I will note, as a Niners fan, who have the Rams played?
On the flip side, who have the Niners played?
We're talking about the Rams.
So both
Trigger.
the Niners and the Rams have played teams that, I mean, they're
Should be sleeping by a dumpster, yes.
Yeah. They played teams that haven't been the best. So the Rams have played Washington,
The NFC East.
the New York Giants, the Bills, which decent team, and then the Eagles and the Cowboys. Niners have played the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets, and the Cardinals. So I think they've both played teams that are in the lower half of the NFL right now. Maybe the Rams with the Bills. Bills are up there. But
Niners get home field advantage.
yeah, during COVID,
Doesn't matter.
I'm sure that means
Doesn't matter.
deal.
It's just a hop and a skip and a jump from junk. Up, skip and a jump.
So anyway, let's go through just a couple things. So for QB, yeah, Jimmy G versus Jared Goff. What do you guys think?
Jared Goff.
Probably Jared. I have to hate to say it, but it's going to be Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is proven. He reminds me a lot of, if you want to relate to a quarterback in his situation, you got to look at Ryan Tannehill, the Tennessee Titans. He has a really good offensive line. He has premier backs. He doesn't need to do too much, and he's got a very talented receiving core. I'm not saying Tannehill has a good receiving core, but he has many working parts. That the kind of quarterback that you put in a situation where all the parts around them work, and they're going to be successful. Jared Goff is one of those guys, and it's also who you get coached with. Jared Goff has been working with McVay. They're a great tandem. I'm not saying they're Belichick Brady or they're Breeze Payton, but they work together, and that's why Goff has remained to be successful. But it's also why he's never been seen as like an elite quarterback. He's been a good quarterback. He hasn't been great, but he's been good, and he's been proven. The biggest thing that has been his biggest thing is in the night when they played the Kansas City Chiefs 2 years ago. In that moment, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes, and that's what won him a lot of money.
Yep. And you also got to think about defenses they're going up against. The Niners' secondary is gutted, and the Rams got Jalen Ramsey at cornerback, of course, and their secondary is not bad at all.
Yeah, and the Niners don't have their best pass rushers.
Right.
So look for a lot of passes potentially from the Rams.
It's going to be a through and air game for
so
sure.
For QBs, we're taking the Rams.
Yep.
I agree with you guys. Running backs.
Cole, go ahead.
Raheem Mostert and Jerick McKinnon, or Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown.
Oof.
Now, me personally, I take the Niners running
Yeah.
backs. I don't think it's
I would as well.
that hard of a decision. Mostert
Mhm.
lit it up last year. and
Henderson has performed very well, but like you said, just the combination of McKinnon.
I think
and-
he's just played easy defenses.
That is true,
Once
too.
They,
Yep.
Once the Rams get to the Niners, I still think they have a decent, run stopping
Yep.
defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Say. Yep.
So I would go with the Niners for running backs.
I mean, I think the Niners are still maybe 2 or 3 against the run, maybe just despite losing our best pass rusher.
I'm not sure, but they're
They're top 5. I mean, right
they're
now,
better
if
than
you
they
look,
should be.
if you're looking actually at defenses right now, it's Niners are at 5 and the Rams are at 4 right now. So it should be a very interesting game just on that side of the ball alone.
Could be an interesting game in general. It's the NFC West, the best division in football right now.
Is this
They're
the
very competitive.
Sunday night game too? Yeah, dude.
Sure is.
It'll be a good Sunday night game.
Mhm.
So, we're gonna do wide receivers.
Rams.
Rams. Not even.
Sorry.
Moving
No
on.
need
Sorry.
to-
Sorry, boys. Not yet.
Tight ends.
Niners.
Niners. Okay.
Niners.
Rebuttal, Cody.
I won't disagree. George Kittle's the best tight end in football.
Okay. Hey, that's fine.
He can't see it, but I'm doing the Kittle right here in the microphone.
See, you're the only one who knows that he does that because you're a Niners fan.
Ryan knew it.
Maybe not.
He's playing hard to get.
Defenses.
I'm going Niners.
I'm going Rams just because of what you just said. They're number 4 and Niners are number 5.
Okay. So we'll go split on defenses, and then the last one is head coach
Niners.
or coaching.
Sorry.
Oh
Niners.
Sean
man, this is
McVay.
bad. This is not going to be good for Cole.
Sean McVay for the Rams,
Good.
or
Shanahan's coming off of a Super Bowl appearance where Sean McVay's coming off of not even a playoff
who's the head
appearance.
coach for the Niners?
Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan.
What'd you say?
Kyle Shanahan.
That would be his father, the great Mike Shanahan of the Denver Broncos, won 2 Super Bowls with John Elway.
Yeah, Cole doesn't even know his own team.
The Niners are clearly, I at least know that they're from Chicago. Come on.
So, you know what? we won't go too...
So
yeah.
Shanahan or McVay?
Sean McVay. And this is bad because we just had a conversation with our brother about this, about who's better coach. Who would you rather, if you started a franchise, who would you start it with? And we talked about, obviously the first would obviously be, if there was every coach in the league right now, who would you start it with? Obviously Belichick. My pick, not number 2, but pretty close, I would start it with Sean McVay. And was one of those people at first after last year, I thought Sean McVay was just a flash in the pan. Everyone's read his offense. He's predictable. He's not the coach of the future.
Mm-hmm.
So far this year, I'm seeing that he can adapt and he can develop even more.
Mm-hmm.
Shanahan, I'm sorry. He's made some really dumb decisions in the moments when it mattered most. Giving up 20-something points as the OC for the Atlanta Falcons. Kicking a field goal and playing conservatively in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I don't care if you're proven track record by your win-loss record or what you've done. When it comes to the moments when you're given a decision to make a play to win the football game or to advance your team, sorry, you're on 2 strikes with me.
I actually agree with Cody on this. I think Sean McVay is the better coach.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the offense, the way he talks with the players, or just the games that they have won this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think McVay and they're close.
They're close. They're very
I
close.
think McVay will do a better job, at least this week.
They're just part of that whole group right now that you're starting to see the older coaches move out and you're seeing the young, again, their 30s, 40s coaches who have much experience. Shanahan's, the Sean McVays, the Sean McDermotts, the Matt Nagy's, the Matt LaFleur's, guys that are about the same age as their quarterbacks. They can work together with their quarterbacks, not just because of the experience level, but same age. I mean, a lot of people say Rodgers gets along with LaFleur over McCarthy because LaFleur is pretty close in age with Rodgers.
Yep.
So, I will say Shanahan, obviously not just. I mean, it's gonna no matter what I say, sound biased. But
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna say that what Kyle Shanahan has built as far as a team is completely just unbelievable.
McVay did the same thing,
Sean McVay inherited Jeff Fisher's teams.
and he made them amazing.
I'm saying Shanahan built it from the ground up, and Say what you want. Shanahan has choked in the biggest moments here and there. I mean, you're talking 2 moments. I mean, come on.
2 Super Bowls.
One he wasn't even a head coach. One was OC. How many points has Sean McVay scored in a Super Bowl as a head coach?
Shanahan's
The
got-
answer: 3.
So he scored points in the Super Bowl, is what you're saying.
Sean McVay has scored points in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
3 points, whereas Shanahan has a
I
combined.
thought the kicker scored those points.
Who was the coach? I'm, when it comes down to it, they're very comparable. I mean, if we really want to come down to it, young, charismatic coaches.
Well, they look completely different.
They look completely different, but I say, just
You want to be
Likability.
Kyle Shanahan, don't you? You want to wear that windbreaker and that cool flat bill that no one's ever seen. You want to have that 5 o'clock shadow. You want to be in your 40s, drive a decent car, and you want to run that offense, don't you? Isn't that what it is? You just want to be Kyle Shanahan.
I think Cody just described Cole's fantasy.
I want to be Kyle Shanahan. I want to be him.
So anyway,
and there's something wrong with that.
so there were 6 categories. 3 of them went to the Rams, 2 went to the Niners, and 1 we were split on. So I think it's going to possibly be a very close game. Potentially low scoring because the defenses are so good.
I think the Seahawks will win.
This game?
Yes.
Did I say Seahawks instead of the Rams?
No.
or-
I just think they're going to win.
Oh, well. Good for them because they're on bye this week. But other than that, Anywho, well, look for the
What is in
Rams
this water?
to potentially win over the Niners this weekend. Well, that's about all we have time for. Thanks everyone for joining us, and thank you to Cole and Cody for coming out here and
It was a pleasure.
sharing your opinions and your insights with me. So,
No problem.
see you guys.